Good morning to all. I am Dr. Vemuri Jyothi, Principal, Sarojini Naidu Vanitha Pharmacy Mahavidyalaya. I'll be talking on the topic quality control of crude drugs. From this tutorial, we will learn about define herbs, herbal formulations or herbal drugs, explain the need of standardization, list the parameters of standardization. First, what are herbs? Herbs are defined as crude plant material. They are obtained from plant parts. They are the entire plant parts, which include leaves, flowers, fruit, seeds, stem, wood, bark, roots, rhizomes. They may be entire, fragmented, or powdered. Similarly, herbal drugs, herbal formulations, or herbal medicines, they are defined as finished label products which contain the active ingredient. This active ingredient can be obtained as aerial part or as an underground part of the plant. They can be present in the crude state or as plant preparations. Phytomedicines or phytopharmaceuticals are those compounds that are obtained over the counter, and these include the modern dosage forms such as tablets, capsules, liquids for oral use. Nutraceuticals are dietary supplements. Herbal medicines consist of either semi processed, processed medicinal plants. As per the WHO guidelines, every herbal medicine or every herbal drug should have certain standards. Now, the reasons these guidelines that are being put up is why these guidelines are being developed. 80% of the world population depends upon their primary health care on herbal products. The reason for their dependence is they have faith, cultural acceptability, and they are being naturally believed to have better compatibility with the human body. Over the time, it has been proved to have lesser side effects with good efficacy. The major goals and objectives of WHO guidelines are to promote the appropriate, safe, and effective use of herbal medicines and to encourage the integration of herbal medicines into the mainstream of medical systems. The guidelines involves policies on quality, safety, efficacy, assessment of crude plant materials, and stability of the finished products. How do we define standardization or evaluation? Standardization or evaluation is being done to establish the quality of the drug, to identify the adulterant, and to confirm the quality. There are different parameters which are laid down by the WHO for standardization of herbal raw material and herbal medicines and their extracts. These include the first one is a preliminary evaluation. Under preliminary evaluation, we determine the sampling, the foreign matter determination, and the fiber content. Morphological evaluation is a qualitative method. It is based on the color, odor, taste, size, shape, and external features. Microscopic evaluation is both qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative evaluation includes tissue, that is taking a section of a tissue. It allows the study of arrangement of tissues. Quantitative assessment includes palisade ratio, vein islet number, vein termination number, stomatal index, stomatal number, and lycopodium method. The next method is physical qualitative evaluation. This includes solubility, refractive index, optical rotation, melting point, boiling point, density, viscosity, chromatographic, and spectroscopic evaluation. This is followed by physical, quantitative, or physicochemical evaluation. This includes ash value, extractive value, moisture content, volatile oil determination. Chemical evaluation. This chemical evaluation helps us to establish the nature of the chemical constituents. We will come to know to which class of chemical constituents does it belong. So this is basically being done by using certain reagents. Biological evaluation includes swelling factor, foam index, hemolytic value, bitterness value, total tannin content. Toxicological evaluation, microbial load determination, aflatoxin detection, pesticide residue determination, radioactive contamination, heavy metal detection. Pharmacological evaluation includes animal activity, animal organ or tissue activity. Analytical evaluation includes chromatographic techniques, which includes thin layer chromatography, paper chromatography, HPTLC, HPLC, and GC. It also includes spectroscopic evaluation. Apart from these methods of evaluation, there are other certain specific tests which are being performed on herbal formulations, which includes weight variation, friability, disintegration, and dissolution. So, by performing all this evaluation test on a herbal product or on the herbal drug, we will be able to identify the the quality of the drug, how much amount of the active constituents is present, what is there any impurity or is there any adulterant. So, this establishes the quality of the drug. Students, we have a reflection spot here. Justify the reasons for standardization of herbal drugs and products. We have seen what are herbal drugs, what are herbal formulations, what are the various methods that are being used to evaluate. Now, why do we adopt standardization of herbal drugs? The first reason is the biochemical and geographical variation. India is a large country which has got a biodiversity of land. The plant can be cultivated in any part of the country. So, there is a difference in the geographical variation between one part of the country and the other. The geographical variations will include the type of the soil, the rainfall, the temperature, and moreover, the cultivation parameters. So when these geographical variations they change, obviously there will be change in the biological constituents. Biological constituents means the chemical constituents that are present in the plant. Now the variations in the chemical constituents can be the percentage of chemical constituents, the efficacy of the drug. So hence the first need for standardization is to establish the biochemical and geographical variation. The second is deterioration during treatment and storage. It is a known fact that the herbal drugs or the plants they are being cultivated. After cultivation, they are being subjected to some treatment. This treatment includes drying or some sort of extraction process. Now, when you are drying, it has to be dried at a room temperature. It depends on the nature of the drug. First is when you cultivate it, when do you pick the product? You have to collect the product when it has attained maturity. There are certain parameters when you have to collect the drug, how it has to be dried, and what treatment has to be given, and how it has to be stored. Any change in this protocol will change the quality of the product. The third point is substitution and adulteration. What do you mean by substitution? Substitution is for commercial gains. We try to substitute the authentic drug or the original drug with another drug which resembles in its activity. The therapeutic activity may be little less or the percentage of chemical constituents may be less. Adulteration is pure change in the drug. It morphologically resembles to that of the authentic drug, but it does not have any therapeutic activity. The next point is export quality natural drugs. When we want to export our products, it should have a proper quality because every country has got its own standards. So whatever product we export should match to that standards. Hence the need of standardization. Popularity of natural drugs for primary care in developing countries. Since the allopathic drugs or the synthetic drugs, they produce a lot of side effects. People are relying on natural drugs or on herbal medicines. It is not that herbal medicines do not produce side effects, but the percentage or the severity of these side effects is slightly reduced. Herbal medicines also, if they are not of a proper quality, can cause adverse reactions and on long term it can cause carcinogenicity and hepatotoxicity. Now, this slide will give you the basic information like what are the different methods for standardization of herbal drugs. We have five methods. One is organoleptic, second one is botanical, third one is physical, fourth one is chemical, fifth one is biological. Under organoleptic, we generally go for color, odor, taste, texture, and fracture. Botanical standardization is of two types, macroscopic and microscopic. Macroscopic is the shape, the external features, or any characteristics it has, the markings. Microscopic, as you have already seen, there are two types, qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative is the tissue which we take and study the arrangement of the cells and the tissues. Quantitative, it's the powder studies. Physical evaluation includes moisture content, extractive values, ash values, fluorescent analysis. Chemical, you have both qualitative and quantitative. What do you mean by qualitative? Qualitative means you try to find out the nature. What is the nature of the chemical constituent present? Is it an alkaloid? Is it a volatile oil? Is it a glycoside? So you have got certain specific chemical tests by which you will be able to identify. What do you mean by quantitative? Quantitative means to what extent, how much it is being present. So for that you have got HPLC, GLC and HPTLC. Then you have got biological evaluation. This is compulsory as per WHO guidelines. The first is to determine the microbial contamination. Why microbial contamination? Because when we store the drugs in the storehouses, there can be a source of microbes attacking it. So the total viable aerobic count, determination of pathogens and aflatoxin contents. Pharmacological evaluations include bitterness value, hemolytic value, foaming index and swelling index. The important one is toxicological standardization or toxicological evaluation. The reason for this is when we are cultivating the plants, when we are cultivating the medicinal plants, we try to spray certain pesticides or so that you have a proper growth. So those residues, if they are present and if it is being into the formulation, may cause some deteriorable effects on the person. Certain heavy metals, we put some fertilizers or manures, they also get sometimes incorporated into the plant products. So that is how we determine toxicological evaluation. So now by the end of this class, we have seen what is herbal, the definition of herbal medicines, what are the different WHO guidelines and the different parameters which are being tested. I hope everyone is clear with it. Thank you for your hearing.